Uplist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is episode 15.
Wow, 15 already?
It's my time.
Let's go.
With Tarnesha podcast. Yes, episode 15.
And with Commodore too.
Yes. I was going to say, I have a special guest sitting beside me today.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you for joining me.
Oh,
this
it's
episode.
awesome.
This is going to be an amazing
man, this is going to be so good.
This is awesome. Y'all see I have on my little holiday.
Yeah, and we're in the festive mood, so I know you know, welcome into our Hoodio, right? Like home studio.
Hoodio?
Hoodio, yeah. Make up a whole new word, Hoodio. So welcome into the Hoodio. We're in the Christmas theme, and and we hope you all had an awesome Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, please don't let me hijack your podcast.
You're on the roll. You're doing good. You're doing really good. No, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is like always one of my favorites because it's like an opportunity to pause and have an attitude of gratitude and just be so thankful. We should be thankful every day, right? Every day should be Thanksgiving, but something about this time of the year where we just set aside time, you know, with friends and family and just be grateful for what all God has done, right?
Right.
So, and so we're transitioning because it's Christmas season.
I know
it is
already.
Officially Christmas season.
Right. I'm about to say, shake the...
Yeah, you hear that? The bells are ringing.
Oh,
yeah, you
my
hear that?
goodness,
so
bells.
It's definitely Christmas time. We got the tree going in the background and all the things, so we are in the mood.
Yeah,
right,
so
to celebrate
now,
Christmas.
you know, and speaking of celebration of Christmas, I want you all to drop in the chat or just chime in. Let us know, when do you put up your Christmas tree?
We've added another question to the
right. So usually we've been saying lately that Christmas trees have been put up around the 1st of November or even right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and we started, I don't know, probably, I guess, right after Halloween. So
drop it in the chat.
Just drop it in the chat.
Everybody does something different, I feel like, every year. You know, some people put them up as soon as November 1st.
Right.
It was like October 31st, and then November 1st, it was Christmas.
Right.
So.
And I've seen a tree, like a year tree, where they keep the tree up and they just put different decorations on it, like Easter, Father's Day, Mother's Day, 4th of July, and so on and so on.
Those are fun. Amen. But this episode, oh my gosh, I am so excited because this is our holiday edition.
Yes.
Episode 15. Home for the Holidays.
Ooh,
is
nice.
what we're calling this podcast. Home for the Holidays.
Nice.
We have, y'all think this is a special guest. We have another great special guest get ready to join us. Another couple that we've known. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been
forever.
Like 15 or 16 years.
Yeah.
I think we met them when we were stationed in Jacksonville all those many moons ago.
Right, and here we are still doing life.
Yeah, together. And so I'm going to introduce them in a moment, but this is a great time, y'all. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, to go ahead and share this, subscribe, like, give the hearts, but definitely share because we're talking home for the holidays, building family, faith, and traditions when family isn't nearby.
Ooh, that's good.
When family isn't nearby. So this is going to be a really good conversation. But y'all know how we do. We kick off all the time. I mean, PC has already opened us up with, when do you put your Christmas tree up? Drop that in the chat. But we always talk about, what are you reading and what are you loving?
Ooh,
so this is a great opportunity to drop that in the chat. What are you reading and what are you loving? We always start with that because readers are leaders.
That's right.
And I believe that we need to have some joy in our life, right? So
true. Yeah.
What are we loving right now? So PC, you want to go first? Tell us what you're reading.
Yes. So what I'm reading, Lady T picked this up for me. And this is a book that we've done 20 plus years ago.
Probably more than that.
More than that. So, and it's always to go back and reread some things when new revision is coming. So this is going to be a read for the next 40 days. I'm reading Rick Warren's The Purpose-Driven Life.
And who are you reading it with?
I'm reading with my sons. Yeah. And so every day we have 40 days. This is a chance for us to get together and, build more of a relationship now because our children are adults now. Mm-hmm. And so, we're in but in a different time of parenting. Mm-hmm. More not parenting, more in the coaching. So I believe this book will be a great read for myself along with our sons, and we can journal it. Mm-hmm. And it's an easy read. We get in, read it, journal it, and then we, elaborate on it and talk about it. And one thing that I'm loving.
It's by Rick Warren, too.
Rick Warren, yeah. Rick Warren, The Purpose-Driven Life. And you can find it on the shelves at your local bookstores or even on Amazon.
Yeah, that's
Rick
the revised version.
Yeah.
It is an older, but it's a good read.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And what I'm loving, I'm loving the holiday season. It's the ending of a year, mm-hmm. but also coming up to the beginning of a year. Mm-hmm. And so the holiday seasons, once we get through it, 2 birthdays in December, Lord bless us.
One tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, so we have the holiday season start after October 31st up and through February, right after the Lover's Day, Valentine's Day. And so that's what I'm loving. I'm loving this time of season where the weather is changing, the leaves are falling, and
I think they've already fell.
Yeah,
because it's December, it's got cold.
Yeah,
the trees are looking naked, but it is still a good time.
What are you reading? What are you loving?
Oh my goodness! So I'm reading this book called "The Road Back to You." The Road Back to You. It's the Enneagram journey to self-discovery.
Okay.
The road back to you, because I think it's important that we not only know whose we are, but who we are.
Right.
And so I even spoke about this last week when vision and identity collide is what I taught on last Sunday.
That was really good.
And thank you, glory to God for that. But I feel like we need to know who we are.
That's right.
And so this book has been challenging me to just take a look at who I am. And, we change from season to seasons, and so who we were 10 years ago, that's not who we are today.
Right.
So it's so important that we are aware of who we are, because it helps us in our careers, it helps us in our relationships, it helps us in ministry, it helps us in our marriage when we know who we are. Right.
Amen.
So it's so important that we know whose we are, but we also know who we are, who God has created us to be. So that's the book I'm reading right now, and it's by Ian Morgan Cron and Suzanne Stable. Is that how you say her last name?
Yeah, it's Stable. Yeah.
So excited about that read. Drop in the chat. Let us know. Oh, what I'm loving.
Yeah.
I'm like you. I think I'm loving the holiday season.
I'm
really loving
It's amazing.
It. Like just the lights and decorating, and I just started this little. I think it's like a little podcast. I can link it in the show notes on Advent, because that's like a whole thing too that we work up to. The birth of Christ, and it kind of keeps the reason of the season going, because sometimes Christmas can become very commercial, but we want to keep it about Jesus, and so I'm also doing that as well. But I'm just loving the season.
That's awesome.
We get hit hard because we got 2 birthdays in December.
Help us, Jesus.
So that part is a little challenging every year, but we make the best of it and we have fun.
Amen.
So
Amen.
So drop in the chat, what are you loving and what are you reading right now? Because it's so important, and I just love to know what y'all are doing, what you're reading. I go back and look, and I'm like, man, people are reading some really great material or doing some really fun things. People travel around this time of the year, so if you're going on a vacation, let us know where you going, what you doing. So we want to know all the things. But I am not going to hold us any longer, because we got special guests waiting.
Oh my God, I love them.
I want to get them in. So I'm just I talked about them a little bit. Mitch and Trina Blunt is their name. We have known them for, oh my God, I feel like we met in 2008, I believe. 2008 or 2000, but I think it was 2008. We can confirm with them when they come in. But it was that many years ago. We were stationed in Jacksonville, Florida, attending this amazing church Church of Jacksonville, and we had an opportunity to meet them and connected, and we have been lifelong friends, like just journeying along the way. And it's something very powerful when you have an opportunity to be friends with somebody like that for these many years. You know what I mean? Like no matter what season it is, we always stay connected. And we're like family, right? And I love that. I love that about us. But one of the reasons why I invited them to be a part of this podcast, and especially in the holiday podcast, this holiday tradition that we're in, is because Trina and I used to have conversations all the time about, first of all, our families have so much in common, because like her and I are from the same area. Shout out to 757. But we talk about how we married these military men, moved away from our family, and we had to like kind of start our own family traditions and what that looks like. And I just want to be a blessing to some of you who are in that season where you may have young kids and you may be trying to figure out what does family traditions look like? What does the holidays look like when you're not near to the family that you grew up with, right? That you're used to be around. And so that's the conversation that we're going to have today. So without further ado, let's bring them in.
The Blunts, y'all. Welcome the Blunts to the podcast.
Hey guys.
How we doing?
Oh my gosh, it's so good to see y'all.
Likewise. Wow.
I think that we've actually seen each other. So we gotta make that trip happen and happen soon. But thank y'all so much for your yes and coming on to It's My Time with Tarnesha podcast. I love y'all for that. Thank you. So I want our listeners, because we know y'all, but I want y'all to introduce yourselves and tell us just briefly about your story, like, because I know y'all have a podcast. That's right, you have a podcast, which I've listened to a few of the episodes, and I'm like, this is really good. Like, people need to, especially as long as y'all been married. So just tell us a little bit about y'all, how long you've been married, and just why you all even started the podcast.
Yeah, so we have been married for just over 30 years. We got married in 1995. We met in Virginia. So she was with two of her friends. I was with two of my friends. We were just out walking. They stopped. One of her friends stopped my friends, and she approached me, and this has been it ever since. 2.5 years later, we got married. 4 children together. The ride has been amazing. So we started the podcast mainly because of everything that we have been through. We've been through a lot. Things that probably should have broke us. We should have been probably divorced.
According to
according to statistics, definitely. And so the fact that we made it through, not just made it through, but we're happy. We always say now that we've been married for 30 years, but we've been happily married for 15 years, or 15, 16 years. We've been happily married. And that is without reservation. We are both happy. So we're not the only one that go through this. We have children that are married. We know a lot of people that are married, people that we've been in the military with, been married for 20 plus years, and they're divorced now. And there's typically a common link. So we did the podcast mainly to help people, not to try and be counselors, but just how we got through what we went through, because we're not the only people that are going through the different trial that we went through. So.
I love that, because you all are sharing your testimony. That's what you're doing. And that's how we help others when we do share. A lot of times we don't want to share, right? Because especially when we have to be transparent and vulnerable and put some things out there that people may not understand or may disagree with. So there's some vulnerability to our transparency, but I think it's necessary, because that's how we grow. And so I love that you all do that. And that 30 years, like, that's no small, like, that's huge to be married 30 years. Y'all don't even look like y'all 30. How y'all been married 30 years? 30 years, that's a long time. So kudos to you all, and living long, living strong, enjoying your marriage, happily married. Like, that just says a lot, and we need to hear more of that. So thank y'all for sharing. I want to talk military life now, because that's how this journey got started. I think Trina and I, you and I, Trina, we talk about this all the time, just about how we met 2 military guys in Virginia. Like, the odds of us even meeting in Jacksonville like that and having that start. And I want to start with the key scripture when we talk about military life and finding family away from family. Psalm 68:6 ESV says, God sets the lonely in families. He leads out the prisoners with singing. So you and Mitch both served in the military.
Absolutely.
You met us in Virginia.
Yeah.
2 girls in Virginia. And then kind of like we moved away, right? Because, military takes you on this journey. And then we go and start our own family. Can y'all speak to, and we've had these conversations, but just here being transparent, like starting a family very young, no teaching, no background, right, of what it looks like. Where did you all kind of start on this journey that, hey, I know I need to do something different from my family? What did it look like? Trial and error? What was it?
So for me, my upbringing was around a lot of single women. And I didn't like that my granddads lived over here. My grandmas lived over here. My mom lived here. My dad lived there. I didn't like that dynamic. And for me, I was like, whoever I'm going to be with, I'm staying with. Just that little want to took me far. I really, like I say, I grew up around a lot of singleness, and that can tend to shape your mindset that that's the right thing to do. This is normal. It's normal to have kids with someone and not be with them, like not be married to them. So for me, early on, it started early. I didn't want what I saw growing up. I didn't want to have all the kids with me and then they have to go visit, if they even get to visit the dad. You know what I mean? Their dad. So,
but I also think that even in that, even knowing that we don't want to do it, there's sometimes you still know how to not do this because this is your template and this is all you've seen. So how to actually do something different. You may have a want to, but not the know-how to actually do that particular thing. And so that was, like I said, that was a lot of trial and error, how to do this, how not to do this, or when you start finding people that are actually modeling what you want. One thing I mentor and talk about, the sad thing is growing up in the church, you have people in the church who have decent marriages, but they don't know how to tell you how to have the marriage that they have. Or a lot of times they're really faking about their marriage. They mimic one thing in church, but you ever see them outside of church, it's a completely different thing. Or time later, you'll start hear stories about this person was doing this and that person. So trying to have that know-how, that's what sometimes becomes difficult. But one thing about God, he does, when you have that desire, he definitely leads you in right directions and connect you with people that are headed in the direction that you want to go. And so that's really what started happening. And a lot for us the true foundation, that true motivation, I guess, motivation, but that real know-how came when we met in Virginia. The pastor that we were under, the teaching that he gave actually helped me to be a better husband, because it more challenged me to be a better husband, to be a better father. And then looking at your kids, saying, if my son grew up and he acted like me towards his wife, would I be happy? Or if my daughter's married a guy like me, would I be happy? And I think that kind of pushed us in the direction of, we've got to do better.
Yeah, because even if someone that was married, it wasn't a healthy marriage. And the same thing on your side.
Yeah.
He saw marriages, but were they healthy? And
longevity in marriage doesn't always mean you're happy and you have a healthy marriage. I have somebody in my family been married probably 40 years, and she'll tell you they ain't happy, but they stay married out of convenience.
Almost 50 years now.
Yeah, almost 50.
Yeah, but it's what you decide to do in the marriage.
Yeah,
making a conscious decision, not just for the kids, but for each other.
Definitely not for the kids, because eventually the kids
I know, yeah. We always tell our kids, like, man, hey, don't drive this one crazy because I got to be with her. Y'all gonna go off and get some new chicks. Don't drive my chick crazy. I was like, y'all gonna go off and get new chicks. Do not drive my chick crazy.
Yeah, definitely can't be about the kids. That's true. And it just sounds like you all made the decision. Yes, they were like trial and errors, but there's something very powerful when you make the decision.
That's right.
When you have just decided that, hey, I want something different. May not know what it all looks like or how you're even going to get the different that you desire, but the decision was made. And so there's so much power in a decision. Mm-hmm. And when you come together, the other power is agreement. Because you all came together and said, hey, we want something different for our family.
Amen.
So can you walk us through, like, because you're the ages of your kids now and like when you started with them, you know, some of the things, some of the traditions that you all did in your family that might be different than the families that you came from, and what was the benefit of that? Like, benefits right away, or did it take time? Because, you know, fruit can take time.
So for me, holidays are always a big thing. I always wanted to decorate together, cook together, you know, eat together, of course. But I would, especially birthdays, I always told the kids, when there's a special day in the home, we don't argue, we don't fuss. Everybody got to get along. And because siblings can go back and forth with each other. But on that day, on this person's birthday or a holiday, we don't argue, we don't do that. And I've done that since they were little because I wanted unity. I wanted peace in my home, you know, and I tried to make them understand it's important. So we would like get together and make a cake or get together and, you know, like I say, decorate the tree or decorate the house. But every holiday, I tried to do that just to bring us together. One, two, to get in their mindset that this is normal. You know, I don't want them to grow up in dysfunction, feeling like dysfunction is normal, even though we didn't get along all the time in the beginning. On those days, it's going to be normal. You know, on those days, it's going to be this. And it's not to just say only do it on those days, but I wanted them to create that unity, you know. But it gotten to the point where now we do family day. You know, we get game nights with them all the time, you know, trying to create some kind of unity within us, you know, togetherness. Family night, prayer, Bible study. We always did Bible study with them. They all sit on the couch with their little Bibles and, you know, we would praise, sing, and Mitch would teach. And my kids saw that structure and remember it now to this day.
And so not only do they remember it, these are things that they actually continue in within their families. Of course, they're going to create their own traditions, but this is something that we did, that we started, and this continues on with them. Me growing up, we didn't, around Christmas time, it was mainly family gifts and food. That was pretty much it. Like there wasn't a lot of men around. So aunt, grandmother, they did all the cooking. And when they finished, we ate. We opened gifts early that morning. And so that's where it was with us. So there wasn't a whole lot of tradition outside of decorating around the Christmas time. A lot of what we do stems from what Trina kind of implements. And this has become our tradition. But the biggest thing, everything that we do is around, centered around God, number one, and then family. Because I think God is the one that keeps the family together. And trying to maintain that main tradition of Christ being the center, hopefully that'll reflect in our kids. And we're seeing that even as they get older. So
one of the things I do love that we did every year for New Year's is we sat around and we listened to you read scripture and we prayed the New Year in together, you know, and even until also, they got older.
But there was also each person gave expectations for the following year, so that way we can hold each other accountable,
right?
As far as what we're trying to do for the year.
Go around and everybody say, you know, what they expect to do, and he'll give the vision for that year.
Yeah, we always gave the vision for the family for the year. Yeah, and that's what we all work towards.
And that was sowing a seed in their lives. So
correct.
They definitely, it took root.
Yeah. I love that.
I love that.
Wow.
That's powerful.
That is powerful. You
Legacy.
know, and sitting here as a dad myself, in not comparison, it's like, wow, there's some things that I've missed after hearing, Mitch and Trina speak on that. It's amazing that, the traditions that they have planted the seed in their family, and they still continue to go. And like we were talking about over the past few weeks about fruit.
Yeah.
It takes time. When you plant the seed takes time. Like our pastor, Dr. Michael Freeman says, he has this quote says, something happens, time passes, then something happens. And he talks about seed time and harvest.
Right.
And, the seeds that you guys are planting in your children and how they are growing, and you can see the fruit of it now. It's such a blessing to us that we were front row seat to see you guys raise your kids and how you guys have grown through the years. I'm just blessed to have front row seats to it. Yeah.
And I just love it because it's, like you said, you're setting up the structure. And, when they go off to their own families, they are going to create their own traditions, but they have a blueprint. Right. They've got foundation, right? Yeah. And that's what's so important. And I think that's what carries on generationally. Yeah. So, all of your kids are adults now in different places and doing all the things. What does that look like now? Because I was listening to something the other day. I think it might have been Dr. Didi was talking about this. I think I was listening to it was Bible study the night before Thanksgiving. But we're talking about traditions and family once the kids are adults and what that looks like. I would love to hear from you all. What does that look like now that your kids are adults? What does gathering around the holidays look like? I know that looks a little different.
So it still stems from when they were younger. And I always tell people it's credit to my wife that our kids really want to be around us. So the holidays, they're always trying to do something with us. For instance, we were just for Thanksgiving. My brother's in Georgia, they got land. So me and my wife initially were going, but all the kids like, not without us.
Right.
Every single one. Yeah.
Except for Michael, he's in Hawaii.
Yeah, our youngest is in Hawaii. But so all of our children are going. So they're still trying to maintain, even though they, our youngest and our oldest, they have their own families, but their desire is still to be around us. In December, their whole thing was we rented a house in Orlando already, and then my oldest daughter, she'll be there with her children, because the family is still really, really big to them. Family means a lot, and we were talking about what we do on New Year's. It was something that I do, and I know my children have, the ones that have families. I mean, you guys are not required to be here because you have your own family. You set your own tradition. You do whatever you guys decide to do. They're like, no, we'll be there. And so they may not stay as long, but they always come here. So that has continued and that followed them. And I think that's the important part of trying to establish something when they're young, that this thing grows up into them.
Yeah, I'm grateful to God that we had enough sense in the midst of our craziness to create that. And I'm like, God, thank you for putting that in us, because it definitely, like I say, planted seeds in them to where it grew. One of the things I was going to say was, when we have, like, I wanted to have family night, game night every month as they became adults. I didn't have to beg them to do it. We just check everybody's schedule and we pick a day and we come together and we eat, we play games. And we've been doing that since those have moved out. They went to college, then they came, graduated college. And then, like, Kayla got married. Our oldest got married, and then our son went to the military, but he tried to find his way home.
But even when we do our family days, because of the time difference, once they get up and everything,
they call.
Yeah, they call
on
Zoom,
FaceTime.
Yeah, FaceTime. Yeah, because that's how important it is for them.
Yeah, I wanted that closeness.
Yeah,
to remain as they got older. So I used to tell them, don't bicker and fight to where you're not talking to each other. Fix it. Always fix it, because when you get older, you're going to need each other.
And this is also why it's important for we get children married, because our children have to be able to, whoever they marry, they should be able to kind of flow right into this family dynamic we have, even though they have their own family.
Right.
But we also want them to be part of this extended family.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's so good. It sounds so much like you're saying intentionality, right? It's just about being intentional about making God and family first.
That's awesome.
That's really good. And year after year you do that. And now it's like your kids, it's just autopilot for them.
Yeah.
Like, where else would we be, you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, where else would we go for Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Yeah, and it's very welcoming and warming to hear this.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I know they have girls and
They do.
girls and boys.
They have, 3 girls and
and so as you know, as a parent of adult children, you know, like, I'm at the point now where I'm trying to push my boys, and it's beautiful to hear. Either, right, they don't want to leave, and to hear, you know, Mitch and Trina, how they're poured into the children, how the children wants to come, and you know, they come back.
It's an automatic.
Yeah, it's an automatic. Yeah,
it's automatic. It's because it's what you put in them.
Yeah,
they don't know anything different, and it sounds like you guys have created something beautiful. Yeah, it's like, where else would you want to go when you have this?
Right.
And like you said, it is important to know who the person they're marrying is, you know, understanding of that. I mean, not to say the other person doesn't have family as well, and you've got to learn to like split time and be okay with visiting both sides.
Right.
But if your home is welcoming enough, even for the in-law, it's almost like they're like, where else would I go too? Right?
Yeah. It's like, your God's my God. Yeah, your people is my people.
I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. So what advice would you give to couples who are newly married or even new parents and trying to establish traditions without feeling guilty for doing things differently?
Advice that I would give is, it's your family. You have to find what works for you and your family. Just because I did it like this, you did it like that, doesn't mean we have to do it the way that we were raised to do it. We just have to do what works for us.
Right, together.
Yeah, and then being happy about that. My way don't have to be the best way. Her way don't have to be the best way. But I think there'll be a little bit of commingling, I guess, of the traditions, of the ways, and then we make that thing our own. It's just like training a new job. You'll train with this person, train with that person, and over time you'll develop your own way to do that thing, and that's what works for you. And the job is still being accomplished. So I think that's more just really just find what works for you.
Yeah, be intentional. You know, try to plan, try to figure out what can be fun. You know, what can bring us together. What would be memorable? I'm always about creating memories. You know. And I feel like if you take the time to invest into your family, it will not just benefit your family, but it'll show your extended family, you know, your other family. Oh man, you know, they're keeping the unit together. They're remaining close, and you know. And
so, having said that, what we do together as our tradition may not always be the popular thing among, say, my family on my side or her family on her side, but we're not trying to please them. That's not what we're trying to do. No. Our goal is trying to cultivate something where the love of God can be can grow within this family. Yeah. And over time, hopefully they may see it that way, but if they never do, this is what's working for our family.
Because I've gotten both feedbacks. Some was like, I ain't doing that. And then some like, oh man, I love that.
Yeah.
You know, and I respect it, you know. A lot of people, you know, have their different opinions of what's considered, you know.
But this is the Blunt family. That's what it is. So, yeah.
And you have to be okay with others not being okay with what you're doing, right? Yeah. You just have to be okay, because it's about, like you said, your family, right? The Blunt family, and what works for you all. And I mean, let's just be honest, because sometimes that family dynamic can be difficult. Not every family gathering is picture perfect. So how do you protect your peace, you know, during the holidays? I mean, you've kind of given some examples about, like, you're not trying to do this for other people. You're doing this for your family. But as even a young couple, right, they're trying to grow their family, start their family. You've got two sides, the husband side, the wife side. They do things differently. They're trying to like work it out to figure out what works for them. How can they protect their peace? Because oftentimes when people are trying to put these traditions in place for their family, and they try something and it doesn't work, they get discouraged, or somebody gives them negative feedback and say, it don't take all that, or why y'all doing all that, or why you didn't come to auntie house, or why you didn't go to grandma's house, all of the things. How do you protect your peace? Because that's the whole thing. We want our peace protected. Right. So how do you do that?
I believe sometimes distance is the best way to maintain peace, regardless of what this person is saying. And you're always in my ear. Guess what? I don't have to call you. I don't have to see you. And eventually you'll come around. If you don't, it is what it is.
I've had some family members that just wasn't respectful of my family, and one thing I'm not going to let anybody do is talk down about my husband or, my children or whatever, because I know this is my family and this is who I live with and this is who I, value. And like he was saying about not speaking with them, it's not that you hate anyone or you have any, animosity. It's like, I know how to protect I don't have to engage in that, I don't have to allow that to come into my life and disrupt what I have here.
Yeah.
Again, some people are not on board with, doing the right thing. So it's okay to have that distance. It's okay to just pray for them over there, pray that their lives are okay, but not to let outer, influences disrupt what you have.
Yeah.
For us, I would say, hindsight looking back, spend more time with each side of the family, those that are willing.
Yeah.
But not just all with one side.
Correct.
Because that can create tension and frustration on, one or the other side, the sides that's
Correct.
not getting that much visitation or whatever. One thing about our kids, my son-in-law parents live up north. So they don't go up north to them often. That's why they're with us the most. But if they were down here, I would encourage them to spend time with them,
Because I still do ask, when's the last time you talked to your dad? When's the last time you talked to your father? How are they doing? How is this?
Right.
And so we try and make sure they're maintaining that particular level of peace.
Right.
Like I said, sometimes that distance can be the best preservation of peace. When she had one of her family members who didn't quite agree with the way I was doing things. Matter of fact, one day he actually wanted to fight me. Like, dude. But anyway, so again, distance. I went years with I don't need to see you. Right. What you do in your home and don't affect me, and what I do don't. So we didn't see each other for a long time. But then here's one thing: he actually started seeing the results of our children, what's going on in our family, how we're still happy, we're doing this, and he had a level of respect for that. Matter of fact, he was at our renewal. And couldn't stop talking to me because he didn't agree with it the way I was doing things because we lived two different lives. So over time, he actually saw, oh, this is what he was doing. And so, but again, had I listened to what he was saying, I don't think that would have helped. I think that outside influence would have affected what we were trying, that peace and what we were.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that feel like their way is right. And if you're not doing what they don't agree.
Correct.
But they can see the fruit in our children and our grandchildren.
Yeah.
We have a family unit and closeness, that we strategically put together, with God, not leaving God out of it at all, and you can't do nothing but respect it.
Yeah.
The distance that we had in our family, he didn't know the details. He didn't know, he'll hear from another family member how we're doing, but didn't take the time to know us and know how we were doing. And now when he saw it for himself, you can't, what you gonna argue with?
Nothing.
What you gonna have? You can't find nothing negative to say, even though some people try. Assumptions can kind of create those distances too, and issues from family coming, outside family. They're assuming we're like this. They're assuming we're doing that. Get to know us.
That's right.
I would say this. I commanded a respect for my husband from everybody, because I'm not going to let you do this and then I'm going at him. I'm not going to let you talk about him. I am a protector of his heart, just like he is of mine, and, you got to be that way. You just have to. That's how you protect your peace. I'm not gonna let nobody just talk about my spouse. Yeah.
Right. That distance when necessary, right? Because then, imagine if you allowed this family member to have gotten in your ear, right? And started speaking words that create division. You all may not be where you are today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you allow people in. I love how our apostle always say, get away from those.
Yeah,
have the problem.
Have the problem.
People say stuff all the time, but if it goes against what you all are trying to create, what you feel like God has ordained for your marriage, then you're on a path to destruction, in my opinion, just by letting people in that speak words that's against what you're trying to build.
And you know what's funny, as we talk on that, have you ever noticed that people on the outside who has no insight of what's going on always seem like that, like they have your answer? And that's the craziest thing about it. And sometimes if we're not careful, like Trina said, you know, she's guarding her heart, she's guarding Mitch's heart, and you know, and someone can just speak in that, and you take that and you're like, you know what, because such and such said, and this is why we're gonna do this, because such and such, or she said, he said, and then you if you catch what I'm dropping,
you're allowing their opinion to have a say. It's like, you don't live in my house, you know, but somehow your opinion has a say. Like, how does it? Why is that? So,
and you know, before we segue on, you know, when I was listening to Mitch talk, he was talking about his daughters. You know how he encouraged them to, and I was looking at this. I'm y'all forgive me. I'm an Instagram scroller, and I seen this one. It's like, Daddy, my tire's flat. Like, call your husband. Like, why should I call my husband when I can call my daddy? You know, it's like, Daddy, I need some money. Like, ask your husband for it. Why should I ask my husband when I got my daddy? So that's what I heard. Then I was like, wow, a girl dad. I was like, man, he rocked. Man, he rocked.
But you have to teach your daughter. You know, that's part of giving her away, right? Hey, you have a husband now. You go to him first, you know. It's about teaching.
And that's the hard thing for a parent, you know. Like I'm in that season now where for the past like 18 years that their sole responsibility for their health, what they eat, how much money they got, where they live at, was our responsibility. It's now, you know, relinquishing the responsibility to them. And it's like, here it is, please don't fumble it. You know, mom and dad, we did everything we can for you. And you know, it's the hardest thing I'm in the season now. It's like trying to take my hand off the seat and tell them pedal, but I'm still running with them. I mean, that's part of it too, right? But when you're parenting kids God's way, you do realize you have to eventually take your hands off. Let them grow. Let them go and let them grow.
Let them grow. But I love this part of the conversation because it is really speaking to, I think, a lot of issues that married couples deal with. Like just not creating boundaries with the extended families. You know, especially because for us, I think it was easy for us to create the boundaries because we both came from homes that we did not see, you know, the healthy marriages and what family tradition looks like, or what it looks like to have a home that's full of the joy of Christmas, you know what I mean, or Thanksgiving and all those things. So it was easy for us because that's something we both wanted. But some people have this already as in their upbringing, and then they go get married and they don't know how to create their own tradition with their own family, and they haven't even been taught that way because you just see generationally that grandma, mom, the daughter, everybody always comes together. Everybody's in everybody's business and everybody's family life, and they're just all commingling and doing life together without any boundaries. And then I think this is what hurts marriages too, because now you start allowing mom and dad and auntie and uncle and cousin to have a say in your covenant, you know, in your marriage. And it's mostly because they just haven't been taught anything differently. It's just what they've seen generationally. So I love this conversation because it really is important to set boundaries. And what you said too, Mitch, about distance, I had that written here. Peace doesn't always mean proximity. Sometimes loving from a distance is the most Christ-like thing you can do. loving from a distance, because sometimes we have to create, and it may not be all the time, it just may be a season,
right?
You know, you may need to create that distance just for a season. So it's so important. I love, because I want to segue here to another point before we start to wrap up, about how you all raised your kids, like from a generational standpoint. Like you guys have created legacy. You know, I used to hear Bishop Jakes all the time say, it's not what you leave to them, it's what you leave in them. And so I think you guys have done a great job of what you are leaving in your kids. Proverbs 22:6 ESV says, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. So when we talk about raising children differently from the way we were raised, talk to me a little bit about, like, just maybe a season where that was challenging. It doesn't have to be holiday specific, but in the day-to-day grind of raising your kids. And Trina and I, we've had these conversations, but I want you to just kind of share just a little bit of the day-to-day grind of what that looked like, saying, hey, I want to raise my kids differently than the way that I was raised. Like, just give me a example, a scenario, a season of where that was challenging for you guys.
So we're starting out. For me, I was I could only mimic what I saw. My father didn't really talk to us. If he was talking to us, it was normally he was yelling at us. And my mom, when they got divorced, my mom, she was working. She was always working, grinding, trying to provide, trying to create a life for herself, for her children. But she never was a really touchy-feely type person either. And so as I had my kids, that's what I became. I became that yeller. I'm always yelling and always pointing out when they're doing wrong, never praise them when they do right. And there was always what I always said, there's a blunt standard. You're going to live up to this blunt standard. This is what this. And then just somebody challenged me about just being a good father. And so as I really got into the word, not just reading the word, because I think a lot of times we read it, but we're not really trying to live by it. I heard somebody say, he said, people tell you what the Bible says. My job is to turn you into what the Bible says. And that really grabbed me. And so then it became no longer a blunt standard, but a God standard. And with that God standard, we can begin to leave legacy. It's nice to leave money. It's nice to leave land. But man, if there is no money to leave, if there is no land to leave, what do you leave? And so it's a person of character, a person of morality. And this is what I tried to mimic before my children. And not only mimic, but also hoping that this will be instilled in them. Because look, we can burn through money easy. Money can be taken from you, but character, people can't take that from you. And so this is what we strived to instill within our children. Not just in word, but also in action. I remember one time I was walking by my wife, and as I'm walking, I hit her on the butt. And then my youngest son, Michael, he came, he jumped, and he did the same thing. He jumped and hit her on the butt. And then I started thinking, how proud would I be if my son came up to be like me? And so they're beginning that journey of trying to create a level of to live, and because they're seeing how I treat you. And so I think for the husband, for the man of the house, setting that standard is very important. Not saying that it takes away from the wife's responsibility, because kids are always going to be watching what we're doing. How are you treating my mom? And I remember when, I think it was Kayla, as she's having kids now, she has two, and she went back to how you were with them.
Right.
And so it's sometimes you don't think kids are watching, but they're definitely watching. Yeah. And what they're watching, when they get to a situation, they're going to go back to, what did mom do in this situation? How did mom handle this situation? And that's what she's going back to a lot as she has her children, because it was something that we tried our best to live before them. Perfect? No, far from perfect.
Because up until Danielle was about the age of 7, that's our youngest of the 3 girls, I was thinking I had to be the angry Black mom. when I say angry Black mom, it's like, what y'all not going to do is run over me. What y'all not going to do is tell me what to do. Or you're not going to, I was in my mind, I thought I had to be putting that out there always to them, because I used to tell my kids jokingly, I'm like, hey, the ratio is off. It's for y'all to one of me. Like, what y'all not going to do is tell me what to do. What you're not going to do is, make me feel like I'm not in control. So I used to threaten, like, I'm going to beat your tail. Things like that, because that's what I heard growing up. Not saying you don't discipline your children. You got to discipline your children. But I didn't have to threaten. I didn't have to always say, stuff to, when I say threaten, it's like, to enforce by, fear or whatnot.
Or intimidation.
I used to tell them, I'm like, if it's going to be one between me and you, it's going to be you, like it ain't going to be me. And
as we
I had to get to a point where, like I say, by the time Danielle was 7, I had to realize I can talk to her.
Yeah.
I can try a different route. The pastor we was under at the time, Pastor Mike, I learned how to talk to my kids and listen more.
Yeah, that was gonna say.
I learned how to.
The belt doesn't have to be the first
first thing we resort to. And every kid is different. Not every child responds the same. You got some of those kids that like to test the waters, matter how
need a belt, yeah.
Right. No matter how you try to approach it. But then you got some that don't. Like Brianna definitely was not that child that you had to put a lot of discipline into. You just say it and she did it.
Yeah, she cried like you done beat her.
Yeah. Kayla was tough. Kayla was like, yeah, this ain't working for me. Kayla was like a talk to her. She's like her dad, very, very strong. But my thing is I had to learn how to be, and I thank God that I learned earlier on how to be a mom that listens, how to be a mom that I don't have to enforce a threat. Just respect me. If you respect me, you'll listen to me. It's not that I had to like earn it, but I had to be who I was in God's way to my kids. They can pull back. Like Kayla called me and say, like she told me, I hope I can raise my daughter like you raised us. Oh, I almost melted because she was like, Mom, I don't want to do it wrong. I'm like, you're not going to do it wrong. She's like, but I see how you raised us. And I just want to make sure I raise my daughter the way you raised us. That tells me I did good. That tells me I got my stuff together and I was intentional about being a better mom to them, not stressed out. Because sometimes society can make you feel like you got to be stressed out. You got to be worried. My family were worriers, So I had to learn how to be a better mom, and they picked up on that.
Yeah.
I know you've done your job well when your daughter says that.
Right.
I hope I raise my daughter the way you raised me. That is a beautiful, that's what we all long to hear, right? As parents, that's a beautiful phrase to hear. And it lets you know that, okay, I've done something right?
Yeah. And hearing this story with Mitch, slapping the hind parts, more is caught. More is caught than taught.
That's right.
And it's so important, us as parents, especially new parents or even new in marriage, and you have younger kids, they are really watching.
That's right.
Yeah, they are really watching.
They do.
We think we can get away with it. And you know what's crazy? The older we get, the harder our hearing gets, right? But those little things, man, they can hear through like concrete. You can be whispering on the other side of the room, like, Mama, when you said, remember when you said,
right.
You told
like,
Daddy,
what?
You're like, what?
You would listen.
Stay out of Grandma's business. Like,
they be all in the business. But I love just that answer you gave, because it does speak a lot to legacy.
Yes.
When you're really showing them that legacy isn't built in a day, it's built daily.
Yeah.
It's in our daily walk.
Good.
That's when legacy is built. It's not built in a day, it's built daily.
That's good.
So I love that. And I thank y'all so much for coming on and sharing. My last question for you as we wrap up, what's one piece of advice or even encouragement you'd give to a couple this holiday season, something they can implement, take away today?
What would you say?
Love each other.
Yeah.
Like, truly love each other. Be for each other. Yeah. And remember that you're for each other.
Yeah. Gifts come and go.
Yeah.
But love, that's going to make more of an impact than a diamond that you can give or a new car. Mm-hmm. Love is the only thing that matters. Love for God, love for family. Yeah. And those are the things that's going to last, because think about it, a car is not going to build a legacy. And I think you said earlier, Tarnesha, intentionality, being intentional in how you love and what you're willing to do for that person. So that's what I would say.
Saying, give love on Christmas.
Oh, please don't sing it. No, they're gonna hit us with copyright infringements. That is so awesome.
Oh man, this has been amazing.
This has been.
Thank y'all so much for your wisdom, because there's just so much wisdom and nuggets that were dropped today, and your transparency, and just taking us on this journey of how you guys have built this legacy. We see it in y'all adult children, just the fruit and how you all have really poured into them. Like you said, fruit speaks for itself.
It does.
You don't have to have a conversation around it. You can see it.
They can that's good produce right there. Yeah. They see the blunts coming. They like, that's good groceries right there. That's good produce right there. I bet you that root is solid. That root has been fed with the word.
Absolutely. Yeah. So tell us where we can find you. I know y'all have this amazing podcast that you're doing. Folks may want to connect with you guys on the socials. Let us know where we can find you and follow.
Well, our podcast is a Blunt Marriage podcast, wherever you get your listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Yeah. So anywhere you can actually find us. We're also on
Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
At a Blunt
Marriage podcast.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Check us out.
Okay, so you're on the socials at that handle as well? Okay. Awesome. Man, this has been amazing.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you all so much
coming on. It's My Time with Tarnesha podcast and just sharing your heart, especially in this holiday tradition, this holiday festive mood that we're all in right now. And as we create legacy, we create traditions for our family, right? Our covenant family, what they call it, the nuclear family. And it looks different for everybody, and I think, like they kept saying over and over again, keeping God at the center of it all. That's what really matters.
It does.
So well, thank y'all so much. I'm gonna close us out. As always, for my listeners, I love to leave you guys with some questions to ponder on. And today I just have one question for you. So write this down. I think we might be able to drop it in what they call it, the lower thirds at some point. But how can you be more intentional about creating peace, joy, and new traditions in your home this holiday season?
That's great.
So something to ponder on. How can you be more intentional about creating peace, joy, and new traditions in your home this holiday?
That's great.
So that's the question I have for y'all. Oh, this has been awesome. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the podcast. I am going to be back probably in 2 weeks. I'm going to take 2 weeks, y'all. I'm going to be back. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Apple, Spotify. It's My Time with Tarnesha podcast. This has been the holiday edition, episode 15, episode 10 of the Crown edition, because y'all know my new book. I actually just finished my last chapter over this holiday weekend, and off she goes to the publisher for editing. So I'm super excited about my new book, When Her Crown Slips, Leading in Life Without Losing Your Marriage. Until the next time, I love y'all. Make it a blessed one.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.